So, X-Men. We just finished X-Men Legends, as you can probably tell if you watch the channel at all, which I hope you are if you're watching this. But
they're here to see
already?
us and nothing else.
No, already?
Alright, so,
Every time I go quiet, this is what I'm doing. It's just I can't. Yeah.
That
the
includes
Sokka face palm.
That includes in-game as well. He's
Especially in game.
Yeah, he goes quiet a lot, mostly because we say something.
Sometimes we're just like, we killed Matt.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because he's just
that was the first
died of
time.
stupidity.
That was the first time I ever played X-Men Legends. I never actually played it in my youth because I didn't like the X-Men that much at the time.
Isn't that because it was the wrong kind of X-Men? Like was it the Uncanny X-Men? Ultimate X-Men.
Ultimate X-Men. Yeah, I didn't care for them as much because the whole Ultimate Universe was just garbage at the time.
Is it still Ultimate or?
No, they've gotten rid of it.
Okay.
The only survivor is Miles Morales.
That's a person. Probably gonna do one of those cut-ins like we did in some of the earlier episodes. Like it's this person, just falls off screen.
Spider-Man.
Oh. Okay. I know that guy, but I
Yeah.
thought his name was Peter Parker.
That's the other Spider-Man.
Right, there are multiple or
There's
something.
Ben Riley,
Yeah, they're coming out with a
Kane.
movie.
Oh.
Or came out.
Matt Gargan was Spider-Man for a while. Kind of Dr. Octavius.
Oh, gross.
I mean, technically it was in Peter Parker's body, but you know.
Oh, yeah, there was something about that at one point.
So I did play an X-Men game,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't have a story or anything like this one.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a, not a beat 'em up, but it's like where two people just come and fight on a stage.
Oh, so
Fighting?
And just,
It was,
Fighting
it was a
game?
fighting game.
just a fighting
Okay.
game.
I like how you got so close
to
to
the
that.
death.
You're just like,
to the death fighting game.
it's a game in which two people fight. What is that called?
A punchy game. A punchy game.
Death battle fight game.
There are
Just
many
get
of
as
those.
get as long and terrible as I can. Anyways, it was one of those, but it was pretty cool because you got to be, one of the X-Men, and I was really into the X-Men back then.
I have actually played X-Men Legends before. It was either in episode 1 or 0, like, oh yeah, let's just load this. It was actually one of the files that I was in.
Yeah.
Probably with my
The one where we
siblings.
skip to the end of the game,
Yep,
just
that
like,
one.
and done.
Could have just
First episode, we finished
cut
the
out
game
12
already.
or 13 episodes. We started with 0. It was a little weird because not much happened in episode 0.
Yeah,
Nothing
well,
happened in episode 0.
That's,
I was there for all of it. Nothing happened.
That's why we called it episode 0. We're like, hey, nothing happened. You can just skip this one if you want.
It was fun. We got to watch Wolverine die a couple times.
Yeah.
We got to watch that guy who's just like, I defeated Wolverine.
Oh yeah, the hook for that one was fun.
Yeah, he's a hero.
Is he? I mean,
Oh, it's more of an anti. No, that's not what anti-hero means.
He's a
Please
villain.
don't
He's
perpetuate
just a villain.
that. Yeah.
he beat up a hero, therefore he is villain.
He is the best villain.
But, a lot of people beat up Wolverine. He's kind of like...
Yeah, but they don't usually defeat him. That's the hard part. This guy defeated him one-handed.
Single-handedly.
Single-handedly.
Like one-handed, that's different than single-handed.
He's like the Worf of the X-Men. He always is the one they beat first to show how tough the bad guy is. Like,
Okay.
oh, we got to beat up Wolverine. Oh, no, Wolverine was defeated. Who can do that? Literally everyone beats up Wolverine first. And then they get together, and then he beats
It's a good power scale. Like, I'm a bad guy and you should take me seriously.
It's like beating up Goku first. You're like, oh, no, I've been beat up once.
Yeah, Goku gets beat up first a lot.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times. So, I liked it, but I've never played it again.
Yeah, no.
It was still very just...
It was one of those games that you like while you play it, and then afterward you're like, well, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
We understand it wasn't a good game, because it wasn't a good game. But it was fun.
It was fun.
I think we found the optimal team for playing that
Oh
game.
gosh, we did.
To have fun. Like, if you want to challenge, play one of the B team guys. That's fine. But if you want to, like, level up guys and just blast through enemies as fast as possible, and just enjoy the game, we found the optimal team.
So, what's the C team? Bobby, Jubilee.
Well, see, unfortunately, Bobby actually punches kind of hard. Like, Jubilee is not good. Jubilee is very bad.
Beast, his power is he can roll around.
Yeah, Beast was bad.
So he's C team material.
Nightcrawler wasn't that great either.
No, he wasn't. Like, he could kind of tank, but tanking that game was terrible. It was a bad plan.
If you're playing it right, you don't need to tank. They're dead. They're dead.
Yeah. Oh no, they're here! Okay, they're gone. Let's see. So you would have Beast, Nightcrawler, Jubilee. Gambit was pretty bad too, but his attack got an upgrade from his staff thing, so
Yeah.
he could hit pretty
You know,
hard.
the thing that he really shouldn't even need to use.
Yeah, that one.
Gambit's got a cool power though.
Oh, it's a really cool
Yeah.
power, for sure.
Not in the game though. Just the idea of just anything, little,
Yeah,
big, whatever.
no,
just
his,
you can just
Yeah, that's-
turn it into a bomb, a
that's kind of the-
grenade, whatever.
That's the problem with this character, is that they don't really have the power scaling right with him. Depends on the writer.
Yeah.
Sometimes he is a tiny god.
Yeah.
And sometimes he can I can make a little explosion. Oh,
I did it. Okay, somebody else do the actual job.
yeah. It's it's not great.
Yeah.
He also has the weird eye thing that they never fully explain.
What?
His eyes, they're like black instead of white.
Oh yeah. For some
Wait,
reason.
what?
Yeah, that's his eyes. His eyes are weird color.
Yeah.
They're like
No,
the
good.
irises are there. They're like kind of like sometimes yellow. Then he has like purple and then black.
Yeah.
He doesn't have whites. Just
It
black.
depends on which anime show you're looking at.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's really weird. And he wears that weird head sock thing,
He definitely has a head sock.
and then just a coat.
So he's like a weird combination of that enemy, the big bad guy. I can't remember his name from Mulan. Shan Yu?
Shan Yu, yeah.
Yeah, Shan Yu, and Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddie, who wears the sock on his head all the time
Maybe.
with superpowers.
I have seen 0 episodes of Ed, Ed and Eddie, mostly because I saw it in passing. I was like, wow, that looks terrible, and then I never.
Oh yeah,
watched
it's absolutely awful.
I'm just trying to imagine the thing
But-
you're describing, and I'm just horrified.
He's got the eyes from Shan Yu and the weird
he
sock
doesn't.
hat.
You mentioned. You already said. Oh,
And
you
then,
did it again.
he's got superpowers.
See, this is why Matt doesn't talk as much in the game. As we do.
I
So sometimes it's fun just to get him there.
I just don't understand why he always just wore like a coat. It's just like as a regular like superhero uniform, and then just like, I want to wear a coat. I'm cold.
He's like Cajun, right? That's not a particularly hot or cold area.
You ever been to the swamp?
A couple of them.
It's humid.
Yeah, totally.
Not a place you want to wear a coat, definitely, because it'll just get soaked.
Well, I mean, if it's a summertime, yeah, but they're also pretty cold in the winter. I've lived in Michigan. It's kind of humid.
That's a different kind of. That's the North
That's true.
compared to Louisiana.
And the X-Men are
Gators.
based in New York, right?
Sure,
So
why not?
so if he went north,
Depends.
maybe he's
Yeah.
cold.
Depends
like
on the
you
writer.
said. He's just cold.
For a while, their headquarters were in Central Park.
Really?
Yeah, they're just sort of like, we're in Central Park now.
All right, back to the mansion.
Did they take over Central
They just
Park?
sort of like the land
Oh.
in the mansion there, and it's like, we live here now, and then everyone's just like, you guys are like gods, so we're just gonna let you do that, but
We're not happy about it.
And speaking of Back to the Mansion parts in that
Oh, they're
game
the
were
worst.
the worst.
The upper floor is garbage, worthless. And it doesn't even look
Oh.
good either.
Yeah, it's like, oh, let's review the load screens. That looks fun. Let's do that.
I mean, like for immersion, it'd be cool to be able to walk around, but it's like the terrible angle with the terrible textures.
Yeah. Oh, that bed. That was
Oh,
fun.
that bad. Why was that so bad? Like, it's not even like a side room you're not supposed to go into. It's
Yeah. That was
They
like
put you in there to start with.
that was like N64
Yeah,
right there. This is a PS2 game. Shouldn't look like that.
Okay, so I do want to mention, it's weird that they'll just like add on things or throw in things. Like the first time you guys go into like the jet hangar area, which they
Yeah.
also keep all the cars in, which is just weird.
Yeah.
This
What's your
is their
puzzle?
garage with our jet. Anyways,
Where would you put your
so
jet?
Well-
you guys just like explore that, and then leave, and there's like, oh, go talk to Wolverine. He's in the place that you just explored. He just appeared there.
You do know that, like, if the cars were near the jet, when the jet took off, all the cars would go, just fly away, right?
Nah,
They would. They actually proved this.
that's fine. I mean, it's like they take off out of the pool. It's fine.
It's like a Harrier, right? You could just go upward.
Depends.
Oh, yeah, I guess it does.
Like the
depend
one in
on
that
which-
one is not a Harrier.
No, it's not.
I don't know what. It's like a weird
It's-
stealth wing thing.
Like how you're just
No, it's
pointing
a
that way. You're
gun,
like,
remember?
Oh, yeah, it's over there.
Yes,
Gun
ma'am.
jet.
It's a gun.
Gun. Because this is a gun now.
It's a giant gun in the sky. Nobody's gonna mess with them.
Watch out, it's the Sky Gun.
I mean, like, for a while, their jet was like a Blackbird,
Yeah, it was.
which was really
for a
cool,
while.
and it was called the Blackbird. It made sense.
Wasn't it that one in the X-Men movies from, I don't know, late 90s?
It was based on that,
Where
yeah.
Hugh Jackman first showed up?
Yeah, it was based on that. It wasn't exactly because they didn't want to completely replicate it, but it was basically that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, those were mostly pretty good movies.
They left out so many cool X-Men from this game
Oh, yeah.
that I would have loved to play as more than some of these other characters.
Yeah. Any
Like who?
specific examples?
I like Angel. He would be terrible in this game, but I
He
like
would
him.
Be, he could fly.
He
could
could
fly,
We needed
and
more flying characters
he
to
could
just
heal.
No, have you ever
just
heard of
cheat at the game.
See, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is another one that's exactly like this game, just not necessarily X-Men only.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of people in
A
it.
lot of people.
And if you want a whole team of flyers, you could do that. I'm not saying it's a good game. It suffers from the same problems as this
Oh, yeah.
one. Probably more.
There's a lot of punchy guys. There's like Hulk, Thing,
Thor.
Thor. He's got lightning punch. He's not this like
Yeah,
punchy.
yeah, he's not just punchy.
But like Thing and Hulk are just punch. They're the same character.
Yeah.
But then they're like really unique characters that have like really cool like sets, and it's like we don't have to do with you. Like Invisible Woman, you just I don't know. You don't really fit. You're a stealth character.
Yeah, that would. How would that even work in that game?
I tried playing. I couldn't really figure out how good she was.
Eh. As long as you can have two or more people with leadership at the same time, though. Because, oh my
There's
gosh.
a few game-breaking things. Leadership,
All
chain
of them are on
lightning.
Storm. Everything game-breaking was on Storm.
You have to have Storm in your team if you want to win.
Or if you want to, like, struggle and stuff. Gross.
Yeah, but if they did it with the Archangel version of Angel, that would be good. Because he can shoot like
Was that the
razor
Metal
blades.
Wing guy?
Yeah, metal
Yeah.
wings. He can shoot things. He can fly. He can heal.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of cool little features.
Wasn't he, like, one of the Horsemen of Apocalypse at the time? Yeah.
Like the game has any continuity
Yeah, it
whatsoever.
doesn't. You're right. Fine.
They had Master Mold in it as the main bad guy.
Yeah, that was really weird.
He looks better in this than in the comics.
Oh.
In the comics, he's just a giant sentinel head on spider legs that vomits out sentinels. Just
Oh. I mean, he would have a very limited number of them at that point. Sentinels are kind of big, unless he's like city
he's
size.
huge. He's a
Okay.
huge thing.
Alright.
But it's the big thing.
So we actually tried on the last episode. We have like the loading screen for almost all of them, as you know. This is the thumbnail for the last one. We tried to get like a screen cap of General Kincaid shouting, and call it General Crazyface because he looks ridiculous in one or two of those cutscenes.
Yeah.
We just couldn't figure out how to get like the wording right for General Crazyface.
Yeah.
General Crazyface.
He deserved the title though. It was crazy.
It's didn't make any sense for him to be the main bad guy. You have big hitters like Apocalypse or Magneto.
Apocalypse, I think, was the main enemy number 2.
They set him up for to be the main enemy in number 2, but
Oh,
was he?
I mean, admittedly, Magneto was like, "I'm the bad guy." For this whole thing, is like, "Nope, it's Kincaid."
He was like, I'm the bad guy, except for when the Sentinels show up and are kind of a threat for that one mission, and then never again.
Yeah,
That mission wasn't even part
was
of the story.
It was a flashback.
Yeah.
The one time we honestly struggled, we couldn't have Storm in the team. It was a flashback.
That was
We did have the second best character though.
that
We
was,
did.
Cyclops.
It was a brutal episode trying to get through just with the one character.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we sped that up.
I like Cyclops a lot
Yeah.
in the game. He
Yeah.
was fine.
In the game, he was pretty good.
In the comics, he is awful.
He's a tool bag.
He gets worse.
Oh,
my
does?
goodness, does he get worse in the comics?
Oh, that's weird.
Like, he starts out pretty bad, and then just, and then at one point, after the whole Phoenix thing just hits the climax, he becomes part of the Phoenix for a little bit, kills Professor X, which is the only good thing he did during that thing, because Professor X should have died. He is an awful monster.
Yeah, I mean,
He literally manipulates everyone all the time, forever.
so he's like the Magneto who pretends to be a good... but Magneto also pretends to be a good guy.
Not really. I mean, he's pretending to be a good guy for mutants and only mutants. He's not pretending to be a good guy for humans.
You're right.
And when he leads the X-Men, it's usually, a better X-Men when Magneto's in charge.
Wait, has Magneto led the X-Men
A
before?
couple times.
Okay, that's fair.
Sometimes alternate universes.
I mean, how long have these comics been going on? I'm sure Magneto's taken
I don't
over
know, since
everything 2 or 3 times.
50s, 40s.
How old is Stan Lee now? We're not going to say out loud or date the episode.
He's probably dead now, actually.
Just so you know.
Probably.
He can't die. He has more Marvel movies he needs to be in.
Does he?
Yes.
He's in Rides now. He cameos in Rides.
I mean, if I were Stan Lee, I'd totally do it.
I don't know.
He seems like a guy who has a lot of fun.
I don't know if he's aware of it. Most of the cameos are him being confused.
That's true.
I think they would have to pay him for his image.
Would he know? He's like, another check.
Well, I'm-
Excelsior.
By the way, what is with the Excelsior thing?
He's one thing he's really good at is branding. Like he
Yes.
knows how to like figure out like a phrase.
Okay.
Anything. That's why Spider-Man always goes thwip with his webs.
Oh, BAMF for Nightcrawler.
Bam. It's just like he knows how to make a unique noise or sound,
Okay.
and that's why he made that his thing. He said, "I'm gonna always say Excelsior," and then he did.
Okay, I was actually about to make an Excelsior joke as well. I was like, haha, Excelsior, where did that come from?
Actually, there was a thing a long time ago. Pizza Hut put a promotion out for the X-Men for some reason, where they put out like,
Okay.
here you could get a trading card and a VHS. Is how old this is.
Oh,
a
wow.
VHS of like one episode of the show and an interview of the guys, of like the people who make it, and how like Stan Lee talking with some other people,
Mm-hmm.
and he's describing the X-Men to people who bought this.
Okay.
Which is like, we know who they are, Stan. That's why we spent extra money at Pizza Hut to get this. We didn't just stroll in like, oh, X-Men. What is that, please? One more of my pepperoni. What is this X-Men? No.
I will gladly pay extra money for this thing I've never heard of.
Yeah, but he's explaining, and he's talking about like cycle. Like, I like it because he had this, he had like I-beams, and he's like, when he had to wear the glasses, or when I take it off, he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. He legitimately thought he had I-beams for a second. Like he thought someone would be scared of him taking off his glasses. And this
think-
was a much younger Stan Lee, by the
I
way.
think Stan Lee is like an adorable kind of crazy.
He's just, yeah.
Well, he's in
So-
everything now. So speaking of TV shows,
TV shows.
Yeah.
there have been a lot of X-Men TV shows, and we grew up with different ones. Actually, very different ones.
Yes.
Like even me and you in this case, by the way. It might be slightly surprising.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, oldest, youngest.
Middle.
Middle.
I'm fairly certain it's obvious who's the
Middleist.
oldest.
I mean, just...
Having a beard doesn't make you
Well,
old.
I mean, there's white in his beard, but
A lot of gray here. It's growing. It's getting more.
it's really weird. He's not that old.
Super old.
Says that he's not old. Not really.
Anyway, so I grew up with like the classic '90s X-Men, just X-Men.
That was like Fox Kids, right?
Yeah, the Fox Kids one.
Yeah.
It was the best. Jubilee is the main character, which is why I like Jubilee as a character.
That's why you think it's the best.
Because I like Jubilee. No, that's,
No,
because, that's why I like
think-
Jubilee.
Yeah, A led to B led to C. Not C led to A led to B.
It had like Morph in it for 2 episodes. He'd be a terrible character for that game, by the
Oh,
way.
he would.
I
be.
changed faces.
Good job.
They like putting like shapeshifters in the X-Men and then never do anything with them.
Except for Mystique.
Mystique.
But
She's like a big name
yeah,
X-Men
but she's
person.
the bad guy.
Yeah,
she
she's-
makes bad things happen. Like the
usually-
good
But,
guys.
but they still use her.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, use. Use.
She-
Not teamwork.
She
is a tool used by Professor X.
It's like Ilyana in those games. Like, she's just a plot point. She's there to drive the plot forward, and that is all.
I think you mean
Hyena. Yeah, Hyena. Yeah, that was a good episode.
It's my favorite.
Anyway, so that was like I love that thing. Had the Sentinels, their classic Sentinel look.
Yeah,
Wolverine was in it for just again Wolverine. Weird naked Sabretooth.
Oh, yeah, that was
I
a
don't
thing
know
on
why
that.
they went with weird naked
Wait.
Sabretooth. Yeah,
Wait,
that's not a
we
jump
had
suit, that's
Diaper
just-
Baby too? Sabretooth?
Kind of, yeah.
No, he wasn't even wearing a diaper. He just was furry.
Yeah.
Just furry.
Everything furry.
No.
Speaking of furry, the one I grew up with
Oh, dear.
was X-Men Evolution,
Mm.
and for some reason they constantly would say that Nightcrawler was furry,
They would say
but they
that-
didn't draw him with any fur.
No, they didn't.
And so it's
They
just
never
like
I
he
want,
looks normal except he's blue,
I want
and they
to
keep
say-
saying he's furry.
Because he is
Just
supposed to be
draw
furry.
some fur lines or something.
Well, he's always supposed to have been furry. He's
Yeah.
always supposed to become a light layer of blue fuzz. That's what he's always meant to be. They've just never really done that well with that art.
So he's like a peach, a blue
Yeah.
peach.
a little bit, but I almost want to say they said fuzzy most of the time.
Well,
Regardless.
Yeah.
it's true. That who was it? I think it was not Rogue. Kitty
Yeah.
would call him furry elf.
I thought it was, again, I
Or
thought it was
fuzzy
fuzzy.
elf.
Yeah.
One of the two.
I mean,
Point-
we might put it in the background. Who knows?
Point is.
Who was right? Vote now.
Point is, they needed to draw him better so he actually looked furry or fuzzy when they called him furry or fuzzy.
Yeah, that's true.
And they didn't.
He was just blue. I want to say he had like a little bit of pokiness in his face too. That's about it. Like nothing else.
Yeah, like, I was like, where's the fur?
Didn't they also have, like, his mom go to school with him, too?
Well, yeah, because she was.
Yeah.
Ooh, spoilers.
She was the principal, wasn't she?
Vice
Or
principal.
counselor?
She was something.
I didn't watch the show that much.
I think she was the principal.
It looked really weird. It's like, they're young, but they're like, why is Rogue young, too?
Well,
They're all
Rogue is
young.
supposed to be old.
Yeah,
There's like a
they just-
handful that were adults and the rest were
Yeah.
teenagers.
like Wolverine, you can't make him young, especially if everybody else is young. How old's that guy? How old is that guy?
Yes.
Wolverine?
Okay.
Yeah,
Does it change with every comic
It
book?
depends on every retcon, sort of adjusts it slightly.
Oh, okay.
I mean, especially like the weird current Wolverine that's running around in the comics, because that's
okay.
Old Man Logan Wolverine from another universe in which he was set in the future where he's old. It's not the current one. It's very...
I know he was supposed to be old in Logan, which I really should see at some point.
Yeah, that
So-
was based on Old Man Logan, the comic.
Okay.
So, which one did you grow up with?
Okay, so my uncle was really, really into X-Men, and he had, like, recordings of one of the other X-Men.
We're being attacked by the Germans.
It's our baby siren. Anyway. So, my uncle had some, like, old VHS ones where Kitty Pryde was the main character again, and it was like only 3 or 4 episodes, and like the intro was literally Stan Lee saying like, "Welcome believers" and something else.
Welcome, true believers.
Yeah, that's the one. Welcome, true believers. And Kitty Pryde was the main character. She was being introduced into the X-Men. They had to go to Asteroid M or something like. No, they had to go somewhere in space to stop the Magneto from doing something.
Yeah.
And the only thing I remember about it is like Nightcrawler. Like they were like running past like all of the Brotherhood bad guys. There was like the Blob and 2 or 3 other people, and they're like, "I'll stop this person." Then they just kept going on with less and less people, and then the last one was like, "Nothing moves the Blob," and then Nightcrawler's just like, "And I wouldn't dream of trying. Auf Wiedersehen," and then he teleports, and he's like, "Where go?" And then it's just Magneto and Nightcrawler. They're sharing a scene together, probably only one ever where it's just those two.
Yeah, it's a weird combination.
Yep. And Nightcrawler has to like change the direction of this thing that's going to crash into the earth, because Magneto likes crashing things apparently.
Yeah, it's easy. He's magnetic. He's just powered based on throwing things around.
Yeah, and Nightcrawler has to like go into the Earth's atmosphere or something and teleport out of there and back into the X-Men's place. And I also remember Professor X like, "No, Nightcrawler, no! You've waited too long!" And then everyone's like, "No, he's dead!" And he's not dead. He's Nightcrawler.
They love that plot point. They're just like, "Oh no, you can't do this." They just love doing that to every X-Men.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh no, you're in space."
Yep. But that was the one that I actually technically grew up with. But I saw the one in the 90s a couple times. I was like, "This is so cool!"
It is cool.
It was really
It's the best X-Men. Everything about it.
And that was why in one of the episodes when I like mentioned that one, the one I saw first, you're like, "Wow, Kitty Pryde hasn't been the POV character in forever."
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
She's a good character. Not as good as Jubilee, but you know.
So what was that one called?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh,
Could ask my uncle, maybe. He lives in New York now. He's far away. Or next to the X-Men. That's probably why he moved there.
Which part of New York? It's kind of a big state.
I have no idea. He is. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant which part of New York, as in the city.
Yeah.
He is in New York,
Oh,
or
the
at least
city.
very nearby.
All right, that's a much smaller part of the area.
Yeah.
so probably not going to be visiting him anytime soon.
Probably not. He's fun.
Oh yeah, just don't like New York.
You just don't. Have you ever been there?
No,
It's delightful.
I don't want to go there.
No.
I almost
Sorry,
got
all
mugged.
New
It's
Yorkers.
fine. I saw a cat. I mean, one from the musical. Just walking out of an elevator. It was weird.
Oh, okay.
Her parents were behind her. They were very disappointed. I saw a preacher, and it was very fun because the guy saying something, I guess in Aramaic, I don't know, and then the guy next to him who was like his hype man, And it's saying, that's what
Oh,
Black
hype.
Jesus
Okay.
said to the man. It's like, oh, it's Black Jesus. Cool. I'm not sure why we're specifying Black Jesus, but all right.
For a second, they said the height man.
Height.
I was like, so we can gauge how tall he is, but no, hype. Okay.
It was, New York's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Mostly because I was on Times Square, so.
We
It's probably
did
the
at
worst
one
part.
point visit my uncle there. We saw like the Statue of Liberty and stuff. Didn't get close to it because
When you
that
say
takes
we,
so much time.
you don't mean me.
No,
Just
I
making
mean,
that clear to the audience.
sorry,
Not me either.
me and my siblings, and I want to say my sister's boyfriend at the time. It was weird. He came along. They had like a 3-star McDonald's. It was crazy.
3-story?
Yeah, 3-star.
Okay. Sounded like you said 3-store McDonald's.
No.
It was like, McDonald's? McDonald's store? Just buy McDonald's merchandise?
The gift store for McDonald's.
I mean, they have the M&M, store at Las Vegas.
Oh, they do, yeah.
And then right next to it is like the Coca-Cola store.
New York story.
Okay.
So, we were in that McDonald's, and my grandma and grandpa were there. They were the one who drove us and everything. And my grandpa was very... he didn't understand social norms at all. So, he was on the 3rd story, and you could, like, see down to the other stories from here.
Cool.
And then my grandma, he didn't know where she was. He's like, where'd she go? Just, like, walked over down to, like, the scaffolding. He's like, artist! That was...
City
Okay,
Fair didn't
I
stand
have
that
a
far out in New
question.
York.
No, probably
Was
not.
this before or after cell phones were invented?
They were definitely invented at the time, but they weren't really all that commonplace.
Okay.
Oh.
Because I was gonna say, if those two had cell phones and he decided to yell instead, it would have been a lot worse.
This is the Davis clan we're talking about?
Rogers in this case.
Whatever. Related to you. Regardless. There's no way that they had a cell phone. Because
No.
he had a flip phone until, like, last week. There's no way they had, like, a real cell phone back then.
I had the flip phone until 2012, maybe 2013.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It was a while. It was way too long, but it was so cheap. I loved it. Texting took 4 years though.
Ugh. I
Especially
couldn't
doing
even text on that
SSSS.
phone. It's just like, boop. Oh, I pressed 4 letters. Fantastic. I needed to get my DS stylus to text
So
on
dainty.
his phone.
So dainty.
That was pretty good.
I don't know. I've never been too on cutting edge of phones, but I've always had a phone. I'm like the only one I know who has the same phone number since I got one.
Ooh, I
Oh,
do
okay.
as well, but
So I got a story to tell about cell phones now that we've gone completely off the rails.
We'll come back. We have a list.
So my first cell phone. Okay, here's the story of how I got my first cell phone. So I used to walk home from school, middle school, and I was in 8th grade, and my house was just like 2 blocks over, and
On the
so
left or the right?
quiet. It was on the left.
fair.
Anyways, so I start to leave the classroom, and my nose just starts like gushing blood, and I'm like, that's a problem. So I walk to the nurses instead of walking home, and we can't get it to stop. I'm there for half an hour trying to stop this nosebleed, and finally, she's like, do you want me to call your parents? I'm like, yeah, they're probably worrying because my dad like watches the clock. It's like, she's 2 minutes late. Something happened.
He's still
Which,
not
by
bad.
the way,
Something did happen.
something did happen. And sometimes it's annoying having a protective parent, but sometimes it's really nice because it's like if something does happen to me, he'll know right away and just immediately start a search party. Anyways,
Goes from 0 to search party pretty quick.
Anyways, very loving dad. So he knew something was wrong and he's freaking out at home. And I'm like, you know what? It's been half an hour. Yeah, he deserves to know. I'm not kidnapped. I'm still at school. So anyways, he drives over, picks me up, finally got the nosebleeds stopped, and just that same day, he walks up to me and he's like, here! And it's an old cell phone of his. So that was my first cell phone. I got to figure out how it worked and everything. I think it was also a flip phone like yours.
Mhm.
I got to play Snake on it. That was my favorite feature.
Probably did.
Back when all the phones came with Snake.
That's all they could handle.
Cell phones were actually commonplace when I got my first one. I just didn't want one because I was like, I don't want people to be able to contact me wherever I am. That sounds like the worst.
You don't have to answer the phone.
Yeah, but it rings and stuff. It's annoying. I don't like it. It was a flip phone. You couldn't just do the thing.
That's why I don't get a flip phone.
There were only flip phones.
That's the fun part of flip
there
phones.
were probably, yeah.
Hanging up is so much more fun with flip phones. Just like, BAM!
But at this point, I'm literally on my third phone, and so I actually do still have the same number.
Yeah.
When I was getting married, my friend, he was going to be my best man. He was like trying to call me. He's like, I have no idea what Richie's number is. I have not called him on his cell phone in like 10 years. Is this Richie? Yeah, it is. He just kind of tried my old number, and it was right.
Everyone freaks out because I have a Colorado number.
Oh yeah, I still have a Michigan number.
That'd be funny if you just called somebody else who was also named Richie.
Oh my gosh, that'd be awful.
He just thinks he's talking to you.
No, he's talking? This isn't talking, this is texting. He called me with his mouth. Richie. It happened.
Just across several states. Richie! I need to talk to you!
Gosh, he lives in Indiana. That would have been one heck of a shout.
He'd be a
Well, this is the dude in
superhero at that
Indiana.
point.
What?
Which, by the way, pulling it back. I said he'd be a superhero at that point. Pulling it
Oh,
back to X-Men.
Oh.
It's not really good pullback.
Did
When you
it.
reference the pullback, it takes it out of the pullback. Now we're back to
No, it's
talking
okay.
about segue material.
Movies!
Not movies.
Try to get that
So,
back up. He
There,
pushes it off.
yeah, that's what I do.
No more rails.
I don't like rails.
But they take you places.
And now you're doing it.
Yeah, but see, DJ's campaign was all rails.
Oh. Go
Oh.
here. We don't want to do. We just wanted to test to see if we could. We would go where you want us to go. We just want to see if we don't. It's on the option.
We'll have an entire podcast about this thing.
Oh dear. Just like, if you don't follow where he wants you to go, he kills you. That's fun.
Did we die when we didn't? I mean,
I don't know. He attacked me with a gigantic axe out of nowhere because I decided I wanted to get a lay of the land.
yeah,
Yeah,
that happened.
That was fun.
But
He's like, BAM!
Manny, save it for the next podcast.
Fine.
So
Fun.
X-Men movies.
Yeah, those happen sometimes.
We'll make 3 of them and then stop because I don't know.
And then stop.
It's like they don't really have an end place. They just like we went too far and we don't know what to do anymore. Shoot.
Well, I still like the beginning scene in X-Men 2 with Nightcrawler, where he's going
man.
after the president.
That was a really good scene.
Like, I will just watch the movie and just watch that scene and be like, okay, I'm done.
It was actually a good
Boop.
movie, though. Like,
It is a good movie.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Of the 3,
Mm-hmm.
those 3, because there's been more,
Yeah.
that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Because it features my 2 favorite X-Men.
The President and Nightcrawler.
President's probably mutant in some canon. Doesn't even matter. But
No, Storm. You ought to know that by now. Storm and Nightcrawler.
yeah. With that movie though, I really like the first one when it came out, but it was so much exposition. Like just watching it again, and I did like the second one a lot more. The third one was awful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I like the first one the best because it had one of my favorite actors.
Darth Maul.
Yeah. And who was also playing one of my favorite characters in the X-Men thing, Toad.
That's
Toad's
a little
a
weird.
terrible character, and I love him.
Okay. So it's kind of like me and Yamcha. I
It
really
is-
like Yamcha. I don't know why.
Yeah, no one likes Yamcha. Not even Yamcha likes Yamcha.
Hey.
But yeah,
I like
love Toad.
Krillin, but he
Krillin's
just
great.
has funny lines.
He's the strongest human in that world.
At this point, you're just talking about Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
I mean, yeah, but
He's the
he probably
strongest.
has funny lines
human
in the regular
on that
Dragon
planet.
Ball Z.
I thought that Tien was supposed to be the strongest.
He is not human. He has 3 eyes, Richie.
Okay, that's almost
And
fair.
best friends with a vampire.
Okay, then you're gonna have to explain.
Chaozu's a vampire.
Oh,
That's why he looks like that and
Okay.
hops.
weird. Okay.
Wait, vampires hop in that world?
No, in the Chinese myth. Because they're stiff, because
Oh.
they're dead. They can't, like, move right. That's why they
Oh,
they
they're
have
easy
hop.
to pick out in a
Yes!
All right.
That was
crowd. It's
the point!
It's the small hopping person
The more
who
you
can't
know.
go out into the
They're
sunlight.
not all small.
Just Chaozu.
And they can't go
Just
on the
Chaozu.
sun.
Okay.
It's
So
different. It's a different myth.
At this point, you're just mixing up Chinese vampires.
So are
and
all
East
small
Western
school
They're
vampires.
not
girls?
small.
No, just school girls. They're just like, she might be a vampire. She's
Why are they
hopping.
girls?
She's got a jump rope, but she's hopping.
This feels racist, and I'm not sure exactly why.
I'm gonna go with Matt on this one. I have no idea how you got here.
Why are we here?
Vampires hopping.
School girls?
School girls on jump ropes.
Oh, okay. You didn't mention the jump ropes, and
I
also
was,
they
but
don't
I
use
was
it for
being-
transportation.
I was being talked over.
Yeah,
I did
'cause
mention it.
We didn't get there. It's like took way too long to get the jump ropes, and I just kept I kept jumping on it.
I like spaghetti because my house
Are
is made
you a
of bricks.
vampire?
Yeah,
Please tell me you're not shiny.
I'm very shiny.
Can't you tell?
Yeah, you can tell from all the sunburn on me currently. From
So,
I just returned from vacation.
so which is your favorite X-Men movie?
I think of the movies, I really liked the first of the reboot,
Oh,
which New Class.
yeah, First Class.
First Class.
Yeah.
I like that one,
That was good.
despite liking none of the characters in it.
That,
I just liked the concept and the setting. It was nice. I liked everything about it, and the characters they're okay.
There's fun jokes in that, like the guy who screams and they just push him off. He's like, ah!
yeah,
That part's fun.
Banshee.
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 I don't know. In my case, it was either X2 or Days of Future Past, because that was the best retcon anyone's ever done.
Yeah.
Because they acknowledged it was a retcon and then made it so on purpose and
They're
somehow
like,
in canon. It was really
This-
good.
They're very weird. It's like, are we ignoring it? Or okay, so it is in universe?
It-
What about Wolverine Origins? Because they keep deciding that they're not. They keep changing their mind on that one, if that one's canon or not.
All I remember is it had a flash of X3 somewhere in there. I was like, ooh, ballsy.
But like Deadpool 2 confirmed that Wolverine Origins is still canon, sort of.
Deadpool breaks the fourth wall. I don't think anything he says or
Yeah.
anything in his movies can be taken as
No,
canon.
it's all still canon. That's why you can break the fourth wall. It's still canon, though. Yeah. Yeah. They confirm it's canon. It's
Ooh.
weird.
I don't know what to think about that. I haven't seen
I
the
don't
second one.
Deadpool's a weird
We,
comic to
we
follow.
might not.
Yeah, we might not.
It's
Well,
If you didn't like the first one, then you're not gonna like the second one.
no,
Certainly.
there were
Well,
things of the first one we liked, but we had to, do heavy on the VidAngel in order to watch it.
Yeah.
It's true.
So,
Yeah, more of that.
yeah. Anyways, which, by the way, best part of that movie with VidAngel. Actually, you explain it better. You want to explain it?
So it's actually in the very, very beginning when he's talking to the cab guy. I honestly don't remember very much of it. And the cab guy asks him to explain something. Oh, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's where." And then he just goes completely silent. The cab guy's like, "No, no!" He's just like shouting, and he's like clearly suffering from this thing that Deadpool's saying, but it's completely silent.
Just
He's just filling your own
describing
blanks,
something.
and it's a lot funnier that way.
Yeah. It is, yeah. Just
Good look at the camera.
the joke is letting you, just your imagination runs wild.
Filling your own terrible blanks.
Anyways, we had to pause the movie because we couldn't stop laughing for like 10 minutes after that scene. We have no idea what Deadpool said. We don't want
I
to
don't
know
remember.
what Deadpool said.
It's not relevant.
No.
So, but like, the first class X-Men, all the characters in it, they're like really bad tier X-Men are done badly. Like Darwin is one of the most powerful X-Men, and
Yeah, he just kind
he
of dies.
dies in the way that he can't. I'd see you adapt from that. Like, yeah, that's the one thing he can do. Like, that's his one power is to adapt to survive anything.
His one power is he will not die.
Yeah,
Like
it's just-
he's like Wolverine, but without all of the blood-curdling rage.
There was like a weird.
And he also had plenty of time. It wasn't like an instant
Yeah.
bomb or
He had
anything.
tons
It's
of
just
time.
like
Yeah, I was a little disappointed he died there. I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was an actual thing. I thought
Yeah,
they
it
just
was-
made him up like Morph.
He's got a weird, like, his backstory is really bizarre because, okay, so in the history of the X-Men, there was, like, the original X-Men team of, like, there was Cyclops and Marvel Girl and Angel and the Beast and Iceman.
Mhm.
And they were, like, the original there. Then they kept, like, shoving in some other guys, like Mimic came in for a while. He's weird. You don't know about Mimic. Like, some other characters came and went. And then there was the big, giant-sized X-Men, in which the story was the X-Men went off and got captured on this island. And so Professor X assembled a new team of X-Men with the title like Storm, Banshee, who had appeared as a villain previously. Wolverine, who was a weird guy and from the Hulk comics. What?
I don't know. Comics are weird. Keep
Yeah,
going.
and it's just like this. All these like Colossus, all the like the other ones show up in this one. Now Dorm's backstory is like in between these two teams, there was another team of like let's put in another Summers brother. Yeah, another one. He's fine. They just pulled one out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Here's another brother. We'll put Darwin, some girl who can make rocks, and some time manipulator. They'll be fine. And then they just died. And so they're like, oh, they're all dead. I'll just make everyone forget they existed. And so we did.
Oh, is that Professor X thing?
Yep. And
Okay.
then one of them survived.
Was it Storm?
Actually, a lot of them survived because Darwin survived, because he's Darwin.
He can't die.
He didn't show up for a while, but he survived eventually. And then, like, the Summers brother came back.
Was he just like, how come nobody knows who I am? How come you guys haven't been looking for me?
Jerks. I don't remember who I am. I thought I died.
You know, they did keep hinting that there was another Summers brother because, like, Mr. Sinister, that's his entire thing, is obsessed with the Summers for some reason.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sinister. Your life sucks.
He's just like, I'm obsessed with this one. Not really, like, really powerful ones. Just mostly Scott, who is the weakest of the Summers,
Ugh.
including his dad, the human pirate. He's a human space pirate, way more powerful than Cyclops because he's a space pirate.
Space Pirate does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, and Cyclops, I shoot beams of force out of my eyeballs. That's it. Havoc is like super powerful.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other guy's name for some reason right now.
Ooh, how about
Vulcan. His name is Vulcan. I can't remember his
Does
human
he
name.
Fire a really big gun, or
He just shoots energy.
Okay.
Just more energy, but like destructive.
so what's your least favorite X-Men movie?
The third one.
Oh, you
I mean,
Last
is it-
Stand.
Is
Yeah,
it not
okay.
the third one for everybody?
No. Wait, like I mean, maybe you could say like X-Men Origins Wolverine or X-Men Last Stand, which is a good choice.
I try to forget about Origins.
Apocalypse wasn't very good either, but I'm not sure it was worst tier.
It did a lot of things better than Last Stand, but Last Stand just did everything wrong.
It did everything wrong and not always in an entertaining way.
I mean, even Origins did a couple things right.
And it was enjoyably bad
Like
in
Ryan-
many
like-
cases.
Early Deadpool movie, in that part of the movie where he's Ryan Reynolds and his Deadpool, that's good, and that's why they made the whole other movies with him.
Yeah.
And he made a really, really good Wolverine game. Like, there's some good parts, but Last Stand just...
Nothing-
Everything...
Nothing good came out
ruined
of Last
Angel,
Stand.
just like, oh, we have a cure for mutants. We have it now.
It's like, we change your DNA. Boop.
It's fine now.
No matter what that change is. You know, like, cancer's hard to fix.
And it's like, oh, Jean Grey's like, she's the Phoenix, and we're not going to explain it. She's just super telekinetic, like Carrie. Like, that's not why she's the Phoenix. It's different. Completely different. Not just super psychic. It's an alien being.
Really strong alien.
You shouldn't even put it in the movie because it's not going to work. It's too big of a story for a movie.
Oh, yeah, Apocalypse did that too, didn't it?
They did a little bit. They just hinted at it. Like, oh, there's something going on. But they didn't that wasn't like the main focus of the character.
That's true. That's true.
I thought
Oh
Apocalypse
my
is weird.
gosh, Last Stand was a bad movie.
Yeah.
The thing is, I remember only bits and pieces of it. I think my brain has repressed it.
It
'cause
probably
it's so
has.
bad.
Yeah.
It's just like over the years, I haven't bothered to watch it again, and I've lost most of it.
I did like the one part where Magneto was moving the Golden Gate Bridge, and then that lady saw him, she was like, just lock the car door.
It's a very human response.
That was fun.
Only thing I can do. I needed something actionable to do.
Perfect.
I
I'm safe.
Let's see. I remember a lot of the Angel scenes, like him as a kid, and he cuts
so
off his
bad.
wings or something.
Yeah.
And then there's another part where he's gonna get the cure, and he
He just
dives
flies
out
away.
of a window.
That's all. I think that's his entire involvement in the movie.
Like, he's supposed
I
to...
just remember Angel. That's all.
It's so weird to have him as such a self-loathing character, like, at that point, because he was a hero before he joined the X-Men in the comics. Like,
Huh.
he didn't even have, like, an offensive power. He just had a bazooka.
Oh,
He just, like, I'm gonna, like, fly around. If I need to shoot something, bazooka. Aha!
that's called making it work.
Like, I'm gonna be a hero regardless of joining the X-Men. And he was cool. That's why I liked him, because he had, like, a kind of a lame power.
Yeah.
Like, he could fly, but he had to have wings. It was very limited.
Mm-hmm.
And he still, like, was a hero in spite of this.
Yeah, but those are like the coolest people. Like, there's like Superman's a really good example. He's like, I can do anything, and whenever he does something, you're like, oh, okay, you do that. But when somebody with like no good power like does something, people without even powers,
Like
which-
Moomin Rider.
like Moomin Rider, when he does something, you're like, oh, you did something. I'm so proud of you. You're my favorite.
Everybody loves an underdog.
That's
Yeah.
why everyone likes the Flash. Because he can just run fast.
But he runs so fast.
Yeah, but like you can't solve all your problems with run fast.
No, you can't. Not all your problems.
They never like whenever you like, oh, you can just run back in time. Like, yeah, that always ruins things. That never fixes a problem for the Flash.
Okay. I did like in Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go, but I liked in Teen Titans when they tried to catch...
Titans Go.
Just finish your sentence. It's fine.
I can't get through a sentence.
Triggered.
Anyways, when the bad guys actually capture Kid Flash, and he just vibrates his cells and gets out of the cage, he's like, what up? Just not an issue for him.
Yeah.
So that's taking his power to like the next step, and I love when they do that.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the basic power. He's really fast. Here's what he can do with it.
Yeah, when they use their powers in creative ways.
Yeah.
Which,
like, I love when anything
which you
does
really
that.
can't do in like all these games we're playing. Cause,
Yeah.
No, they're very strict.
And Flash is a terrible character for a video game.
Oh, so bad.
It's just
Who
I can see
wants
a
motion sickness?
I could see a mini game as Flash.
I
That
see
could
it
be
as the
fun.
most frustrating mini game in that game, being the Flash mini game.
Hey.
The most frustrating thing, like in Battletoads.
Oh,
with
gosh.
it'd be like that. It's like you have to like quickly do things like this, like.
Oh, should we play Battletoads on the channel?
No,
Oh.
because you'll want to play with team damage, and then we'll just never make it anywhere.
We tried Team Damage one time on Gauntlet. Yep. It made a fun episode, though.
Made a fun episode.
We need to play more gauntlets. Just all the gauntlets, including
It's
the really
so
bad
dark.
one.
There's so many gauntlets. And yeah, it's super dark. I don't know why.
There's a reason we
There's
stopped
other
playing
gauntlets.
it.
There's other gauntlets.
There are other
There's
gauntlets.
the old arcade gauntlets. There's the really dark in tone reboot, the dark gritty reboot.
Why everything needs a dark gritty reboot nowadays?
Yeah, that's why we have the DC extended universe
Oh yeah.
with the, like only that's it.
I mean-
There's, like Shazam looks good,
Wonder Woman's in it. Like that was a good movie. I like
That
and
Wonder
it's
was.
still a dark gritty reboot of Wonder Woman.
Is
They
it?
killed Steve.
But Wonder Woman herself is kind of a happy person who's like, I'm doing this because it's right, and then she did it.
And then they killed everyone.
Well, they killed one person.
I mean, it's a war.
They killed her mom. And her substitute mom. They killed both of them.
She lost 2 moms in this war.
Oh man, it's worse than Disney.
Oh wow. Well, did
Well,
she,
it's
did
an
she
island
lose
of
a dad?
women. She only has moms.
She doesn't have a dad to begin with.
Was that in canon?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Zeus.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
You can't really lose them.
Nah. They could. It's a dark gritty reboot. They
Yeah,
can kill
they
him.
can kill Zeus.
Because she's on an island of like just women is the point.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a dad. She has 2 moms. By the way, kind of progressive. But anyways,
Kind of. You don't know the origins of Wonder Woman.
no.
It is
This-
totally not
This
progressive.
this is my like that movie is all I know of Wonder Woman, and she's got a whip and not a nene, but she does have some sort of invisible jet.
I really hope they don't put that in there, and I also really super hope they do. I want that in there just to be terrible.
I was hoping there'd just be 2 or 3 seconds of solid silence of disappointment in that one sentence.
I'm sorry. I thought of it and I had to say
They
it.
Yeah,
made a
that's
movie
fair.
that you two can never watch about the origins of the people who made Wonder Woman because it is just about sex. That is what the movie is about.
That's awful.
And it is also about the origins of Wonder Woman. Because
But-
that is the true origin of Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, this is history.
Okay.
Can that movie just die in a fire?
Probably, yeah.
It's a biopic. It's not like a fake thing. It's just the true story, more or less. I mean, it's you know how they are.
So anyways,
Comic books.
Everyone's
books.
super attractive in these things.
X-Men come from comic
that's
books.
DC.
So
We want Marvel.
Move. No, we're on comic books now.
There was a part where Kitty Pryde dated Star-Lord for a while.
Really?
Yeah. She had a weird thing where she got stuck in space for a while because she had to phase a giant bullet.
What?
Yeah, someone fired a giant bullet at the Earth. It was like a literal giant bullet. Like,
Oh.
if you imagine a cartoon of a
Like
giant bullet.
Mario Bullet.
Yeah, I like Mario
Like a-
Bullet.
yeah, big bonsai bill.
Okay.
And she had to phase through it to save her, but it just kept going, and she just I guess I'm
stayed
just in
there.
space forever now.
Now I'm riding a bullet forever. Did it have an atmosphere? How did she breathe?
I think she just sort of like was phased, and she just ignores physics when she's phased.
Huh.
But like doing that for so long, like affected her because when she came back to Earth, she had to be stuck in like a spacesuit for a while until that became annoying to ride around. It's like she's in a spacesuit, and then like,
This is really annoying to draw.
okay, fine, she can be back in the thing.
It's a good thing she has selective phasing, because she's like, I want to go through this, but not the ground.
There actually are some like versions of her that has trouble with that.
Huh.
Then they also decide like she has trouble with her clothes too. Like
I was specifically not mentioning clothes.
Like- you had a moment there, and then you just like, nope, we're gonna ruin it.
Yeah. Sometimes they're good at ruining things.
And then she went back into space. Like I miss space, and then she's like, huh. And she became Star-Lord briefly because Peter Quill became Emperor. Comics
You've
are
read
weird.
a lot of comics.
Pretty much all I do.
I've read one X-Men comic. It was somewhere in the middle of when the Danger Room became sentient,
Danger.
or more sentient, and then decided to fight the X-Men. It kicked the crap out of them.
Well, yeah. Her entire purpose was to kill the
Yeah.
X-Men, and she was never allowed to do that.
Yeah,
So she finally figured out, how.
and like there was
It's a she now?
yeah, it was a she.
Yeah.
Apparently, Xavier put some sort of sentient thing in there which had its own, being female. And at one part, like, it knocked somebody out, and then Kitty Pryde was giving, like, CPR to that person. And then she was like, she just grabbed Colossus and chucked Colossus at her. And she couldn't phase through it because then she would have, like, had to, like, fall through the person. And he couldn't turn into metal, otherwise it would have killed her. It was so cool. She's like, I thought about all your powers and how they do it. And so she just beat them the heck up by using their powers against it. It was cool.
Yeah, literally
Sounds
designed
really
to
cool.
kill them.
Yeah.
But never allowed to actually kill them.
Yeah, no, she wasn't even allowed to kill them when she became more sentient. I think that's the way it was written.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the ultimate how they defeated. Like, she still couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It was very frustrating for her.
Really interesting comics, though.
For a
So
while.
speaking of comics,
Comics.
you mentioned writing a comic before in our episodes.
Yeah, in one of the episodes.
I wrote a fan fiction.
Oh.
It was in a comic because I can't draw. But we just had like elementary school. We had to like write little like stories, and I was obsessed with the X-Men at the time, mostly with the toys. I didn't read the comics or even sometimes watch the show, but mostly with just the toys. I made an entire universe about what we knew about it. Like it was the schoolyard rumors of everything. Like for a time, we all believed that Wolverine had really long fingernails. At one point, I thought like his claws were always out, and they just extended here, and he just like came into a fist. That's why they were there.
Oh.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense now, but as an elementary school kid, it was perfect. So, I based this entire fan fiction off of a cardboard back of a blister pack action figure I had. Wasn't even of Wolverine.
Blister.
I didn't even have that one. You know what a blister pack is?
No.
So, like with a cardboard back with the little plastic bubble.
Yeah.
It's like a blister.
Oh, okay.
That's called a blister pack. I didn't even have this Wolverine one. They had different versions of it, and instead of like naming it cool like super awesome Wolverine X, it'd be like Wolverine 1, Wolverine 2, Wolverine 3, because every line had like 3 Wolverines. Like, we have a bunch of other characters and 3 Wolverines.
He's popular.
And I just like this one of them because they like with the like had a yellow and blue uniform, no mask, and a gun. He had a gun.
A gun?
He had a gun. And at the time, we all believed that Sabretooth was Wolverine's dad.
Any particular reason?
I don't know. I think that's just what the rumor was at the comic was. We just heard it. Like that makes sense.
Somebody said this. Yeah, it's true.
It makes sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense now because we now know Wolverine's older. And we do know what Sabretooth's kid is. An anti-mutant. It's very strange. Mystique and Sabretooth had a kid and he hates mutants.
Oh.
He's like the head of the anti-mutants.
Mystique has had a baby with everyone in the X-Men universe.
And yet Rogue isn't technically her like biological child.
Really?
Still her child.
Okay.
She adopted her.
Oh, well, that's nice of her. Anyway.
So back to the terrible fanfiction. And it's just like Wolverine's like it was called Like Father, Unlike Son because I was super original as a kid. I know. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
So we had that, and it was just like Wolverine, like I need to kill Sabretooth, even though he is my father. You like put on a uniform, like I should, and like went to a room full of stuff. Like I need a gun, and like I'll be known as Wolverine 3. I don't know why I thought that was his name.
It was on the toy.
It was on the toy, and that was it. I didn't like think this outside of the story at any point. I didn't think that like he's called Wolverine 2 or 3 at any point. I just thought in this one story he's called Wolverine 3. And it just sort of ended on a to be continued because I got bored with it. It's like I'm done now. I wrote my minimum 3 pages.
Oh dear. Yeah. So how about you?
Well, I was into X-Men a lot as a kid. Like, I had a group of friends and we always chose a specific X-Men and just played X-Men. Like on the playground or at home or whatever, on the streets.
Before cell phones were allowed on playgrounds.
When I was on playgrounds, we didn't have cell phones. It didn't exist.
Yeah, they
I didn't either. Yes.
yeah. I mean, I mentioned getting a cell phone in 8th grade. They don't have playgrounds in middle school.
Mine did. It was built on a dump. Literally.
Ooh.
Like it was literally like there was a car skeleton like in our playground.
Huh.
It was kind of buried, but eventually got things like don't play on that.
So you mean everyone played on it?
Yeah.
So anyways, so that's what we did. We always played X-Men, but I never wrote a comic about it. Missed opportunity. Anyways, I did write these like short, like one-panel comics. It was called Dumb Duck. So it was just a scenario with this duck who just was doing something really dumb or dangerous,
Okay.
and he would die. Like, I don't show him dying, but you can see he's about to die in this comic.
It's really dark.
Yep.
Hey.
I did not expect that.
Hey. Okay.
That was my comic. I drew, like, I think it was for like a month. I kept drawing these one-panel comics of Dumb Duck.
Huh. All right.
Yeah.
I believe at one point you also mentioned that you
I did-
also
yeah.
had a comic book about someone dying.
I did a little comic strip for my class newspaper. Like I just did one thing. It was a total Garfield ripoff because I'm not original. I'm just not. I just had like a Garfield ripoff, but it was like the classic old school original Garfield, not the newer version we're all familiar with now. Like when he was like more humpback raccoon shaped. And just had that like had him there, like there, and he's looking at like a tray, and they just like set extendo neck down to the tray, and then a gravestone. And I thought it was hilarious because I didn't realize I was really into anti-humor at the time, and no one else is, especially not in elementary school.
No.
The fact that I was into it is very strange, and I probably should have gone to the counselor even more than I already did.
I mean, maybe in like middle school or high school, probably middle school, you would have gotten more kids on your side, but like, look at this. Cat dies, it was poisoned, it was funny.
Edgelord.
Yeah, no.
No.
More counselor.
More
I went to
counselor.
the counselor a lot.
Actually, I was either in middle school or high school. There was this thing they were doing called psych evals, or for psychiatric evaluations, and a lot of those went around. Like, especially in the group of friends that me and my brothers had, we had like a 30% psych eval rate. It was pretty fantastic. Mike, my younger brother, got one. He drew a picture, a small comic of the school being blown up. They're like, oh yeah, send him to the...
Yeah.
And then one of his friends fell asleep in class, and someone tied a noose and then put it around his neck.
Oh, dear.
The teacher looked over and thought he was the one who did it. They're like, what are you doing? He's like, what? He just woke up. They're like, psych eval.
That's not a good teacher.
No, it's not.
That's not very smart.
One of my younger
Hold
brothers.
on.
Okay.
What was she doing that took so long that this kid was able to create a noose, stand up, put it over his head, and sit back down before she ever noticed?
She was like writing on the whiteboard or something, just like blah 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 blah. Looked over her shoulder, just not. He was out of her line of sight.
I see. Okay.
Or the standard teacher, I don't care about my class because I've had tenure.
That can also happen. Yes, that might have happened. I never had the teacher to my knowledge. Another one, I don't know why he got one, but he did. And my older brother's friend, the teacher asked something about powers, actually. And he was like, if I had a power, I'd want to, like, have mind bullets. That way I could do blah, 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 blah. And hunt small animals. The teacher was like, hunt small animals? And then she got a psych eval. And
For food.
yeah, and then my brother.
People hunt. That doesn't make them psychotic.
Nope. So my brother actually.
Would large animals been better?
Maybe.
You can't hunt rabbits. You need to hunt deer.
I don't know if he specifically said hunting, but killing small animals.
Well,
But,
honestly.
and then my brother was like, I don't know about this. This seems a little off, teacher. She's like, don't you think that might have been a cry for help? My brother's like, never mind, I'm leaving. So that was going around. Comics.
Oh. No, we're having one more story about counselor.
Do it.
Okay.
So, like I said, I went to counselor a lot. Usually, by high school, I was trying to be on my better behavior up until I got expelled. That was senior year.
Oh.
Freshman year, I'm called to the counselor's office, and I'm discussing my schedule. I begin to think this might have been a lie, because when I leave the counselor's office, I look over and they're watching TV, which is strange for a school.
Mm-hmm.
And I look over, and it is the Columbine shooting. And I went to school in Colorado, actually. So I was in high school in Colorado during the Columbine shootings. So I'm beginning to think it wasn't necessarily a coincidence anymore.
Okay, got it.
I think I might have been like, check him out.
Just make sure he's not doing anything right now.
I'm like, oh, he seems okay. All right, he's fine.
Back
Anyway.
to class.
Like, and it's like, oh, I was kind of panicked for a minute because our Columbine and just down the street was an elementary school called Columbine.
Huh.
I live in like an hour away from Denver, so it wasn't like there. Until I heard Denver, I was like, uh-oh, like, is it the elementary school that's down the street? No? Okay.
For a minute, I also thought, like, they also might have called you down because your parents might have been there because
No.
they're police or whatever.
Another city entirely.
Okay.
So, did you write any comic books as a kid?
Funny story. There's Nightcrawler's New York Adventure. This lovely comic book that, if you just go watch the episode, you can see it. But, yep, I literally wrote an X-Men comic for it.
Great.
Oh my gosh, it took hours. Like, I wanted to draw these things, like, ironically bad. I started with the buildings, you know, they're very blocky and stuff. But the problem is, I don't like to do things poorly. So when I was drawing the characters, I was like, oh, let's just give them, like, like, I just put more and more detail into them until...
There's a little bit of abs on Nightcrawler.
Yeah, there is.
So
There's
cool.
just a tiny little bit of abs on Nightcrawler.
They get a resisting abs on the Sentinel.
Yep.
He doesn't have
Now,
elbows.
now here's the thing. Like, he wanted to do as best he can, but the joke is that it's also supposed to be terrible. So, while he's doing small details, we also have this just, you know, taped
I like how
on
it's
there.
taped again. It
Yeah.
has like remnants of the folder.
It's supposed to be terrible. We have this where the picture was too big, so he had to staple it
Cyclops.
to make it
Yeah, and there's just a little...
more
Mega
room.
Man.
It could be either one.
Or a dog.
Yeah, blue healer, I guess. But yeah, it just, like, every single one of these stupid pages took like 45 or longer. Just like, even drew the inside of the Sentinels. It took forever.
Why did you put so much effort in?
Because as I was doing, I was like, oh, it looks better if I do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And people also die in this comic, so all of our comics have that in common.
Every
Forgot
one of
the
our
Phoenix
comics,
emblem on-
somebody dies.
On Jean.
I forgot the what?
The
Oh
Phoenix
no,
emblem.
she doesn't have.
Oh, I never. No, she does. It's just a little bit right there.
That's also not where hers
not
is.
not breasts.
Oh, sorry.
The symbol, the X-Men symbol.
Does she have it in the first one? Okay, she
Richie.
does. Good.
It's supposed to be on the belt.
I love you too.
Love
She's supposed
you.
to have like the Phoenix symbol on her chest,
Yeah, she probably is.
and her arms are.
She had like arm length yellow gloves.
No, I'm just looking at her. I'm looking at her proportions of her arms because.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one's pretty long, and that one's not. So, you know,
That leg's broken. That leg is just broken.
I'm not actually good at drawing.
Just look at this foot.
This is just a
Just
lot of effort.
audience. Just look at this foot right here.
We're just gonna put that on the screen. We're gonna edit this. We're not gonna show that because it's not gonna read.
No, it's not.
Let's bring it up.
No. This is a good one.
Err. Err.
Did you have to like move his head because it was gonna be off the
Yes,
page?
I did.
Still, why does he have such a mullet?
It was actually just supposed to be long
Does he have
hair.
long hair in that game?
Like I mixed. Like, there's like 3 or 4 different Nightcrawlers. Some have long hair, some don't. I took the costume from one, the long hair from another, and yeah, yep.
I do love that, like, you added the broken glass here just to show how powerful
So
this
detailed.
beam is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's like the Ninja Turtles comic style for some reason. That's what it reminds me of.
Okay.
It looks like Ninja Turtles.
We're probably just gonna have like the actual pictures over our talking,
Yeah.
so we don't have to be like, look at this one, just point to the camera.
But yeah.
We're probably gonna keep that forever.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh my gosh.
that's a memento now.
I've been trying to get back into the X-Men in the comics, but it's just so confusing.
I mean, if the comics actively resist you, I wouldn't bother trying.
Okay, there's like two versions of there's like multiple X-Men teams. Okay. But then like there's the past X-Men they brought back to like trick Scott into stop being an evil jerk. Because after he killed Professor X, which I maintain is a good thing, he kept like going around like being a totalitarian because he could. And, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But he's like taking it too far, and they're like, "No, here's you in the past," and he's like, "Nah."
Like, yeah, I was a tool back then. I'm worse now, but you know, I'm cool with that.
Then they just couldn't send the whole team back, so they're just stuck in our universe, and it's like that's weird. Okay, and they're just confused. And then Bobby was gay, and like. Which is really confusing to the regular Iceman. Is like it's like I'm gay. Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
And it's like, but I am. Like,
isn't he rather promiscuous?
yeah, and it's like this is, but like I think I
Whatever.
remember being gay. Just I would remember that. And he's like,
Oh, it happened now.
and then like past Angel got his wings taken off too, and he has fire wings now, and he's dating.
Wait, can he fly with fire wings?
Yeah,
Huh.
and he was dating Wolverine for a while. This is girl Wolverine.
This is getting weirder.
Yep.
She's from the regular universe, and yeah, it doesn't make sense. There's Old Man Logan, who's just now because regular Wolverine died. So you have Girl Wolverine, Old Man Logan. Jean Grey had been dead for a very long time. Then she came back. She's back now.
Was she the Phoenix still?
Kind of, sort of.
I mean, I
You can
can
never shake the Phoenix thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the Phoenix like can't die. That's
Well, like
It's a
okay, so
Phoenix.
like originally in the comics, like they had her be the Phoenix, and then she died as the Phoenix, and then she got cloned. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And then off camera, you can't see any of this hand gestures. Keep doing it. Just I can see Mandy glaring at me. It's great. Yeah, then she died, and then they like retconned it to where like, oh no, she's really fine. The Phoenix kept her real body hidden under a lake. She's
Wait.
fine.
is that what they were going for at
Yeah.
the end of X? Okay.
That's what they were going for.
Okay. Doesn't make it better.
No. And then but then she still had like a little bit of the Phoenix, and then her daughter in the future had the Phoenix. Her daughter from the future is in the past now. Rachel's weird.
Yeah.
It's very strange because they have like all these kids from the future keep showing up.
There's so much time manipulation.
Like Cable
going on
is
these
older than
things.
Scott, and like, but he's his kid. And like, this is a weird dynamic you guys got here.
Thanks, Dad. You're welcome, son.
And Professor X is alive again, which is awful. It's just like he just took over another guy's body with his permission, which no one believes.
No one believes this.
Like, check him out. He'll totally agree. Like, yeah, it's totally okay. I was bored.
I was bored.
And they brought back the Shadow King, which is very interesting because if you remember him from the game,
Yeah.
he looked like a giant purple monster, which is
Yes.
not what he looks like at all in the comics. Usually he's a big fat Asian? Arab guy. Big
yeah.
fat Arab guy. Now he's a big fat Arab guy with spider legs.
Wait, that's even worse.
Yeah. He also shows up in the new Legion show, which is, I heard, very good, but it seems very cerebral. Legion is actually Professor X's kid that he completely disavowed because he's a jerk.
Well,
Yeah. He also
Professor
has
X.
multiple personalities, and every personality has a power.
That's not how genes work.
Shut up. he
He's able to access the power
even had time travel
through
powers.
his mind.
One time he went back in time,
There's-
he tried to kill Magneto, because like Magneto's your like greatest enemy. I'll kill him in the past, but he killed him in the past when they were still besties.
That was dumb.
So he's like gonna do it, and then like Professor was like no, and jumped in front of the Mind Blade or something, and so he killed his own dad, which
Wait.
caused the Age of Apocalypse.
I'm real confused. Do mind blades have to travel through the physical plane in order to reach things? I thought mind blades were just psychic.
Well, there's that, but there's also like the telekinetic blades.
Okay, that makes
they
a bit
make.
more sense.
Like Mike's character in your campaign, that's what he did.
Yeah.
They're mind blades, but they're physical blades made with his mind,
Okay.
like Psylocke uses now.
Anyways, I don't think we have a good way to end these yet, but
Probably not.
It's over.